my viewers, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't have to miss on any of my videos. Tap the like button and give this video a thumbs up. With that said, let's get into today's video. Now, in today's video, we are taking a look into the controversy sparked by Janet Jackson's recent comments about Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, during an interview, Janet claimed that Harris isn't truly black, referencing her mixed heritage and stating that she heard Harris's father is palm color. Now, this has ignited a passionate debate about identity and representation, especially within the black community. Now, one sister passionately counters Janet's remarks, emphasizing that Kamala Harris is a biracial woman with a black Jamaican father and an Indian mother, and how her identity is shaped by her lived experience. So with that said, join me as we unpack the reactions to Janet's statement and explore the complexities of racial identity in America today. Let's take a look at these different videos. I will be right back.
Kamala Harris is not black. Really, Janet? Really? Why you? Oh, hell no. That's not the way it's supposed to go. Like, Janet, come on, I love you. During an interview with The Guardian, Janet was asked how did she feel about Kamala being the first black female president, which she responded to by saying she's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. Her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days, but I was told that they discovered her father was white. Again, oh, hell no. That's not the way this is supposed to go. Janet, her father is a black Jamaican. Her mother is an Indian. She is a biracial woman who identifies because she looks phenotypically black. So she's black and Indian. I don't know why this is so hard. I really don't get it, why we're having such a hard time with this. And the one drop rule for a long time made anybody with a drop of black blood black, but we don't seem to understand the difference between ethnicity and race. But Janet, no, because I love you, girl.
Hey, Janet Jackson, we don't give a single flying what you think about her heritage or how she identifies.
Janet Jackson. So Janet Jackson, in a new interview with The Guardian, claims that Kamala Harris is not black. So for some reason, very much like when Barack Obama was running and they were trying to say that he wasn't an American citizen because he was born in Hawaii, they're trying to discredit Kamala Harris not being black. So Janet Jackson, in a new interview with The Guardian, said this. Well, you know what they supposedly said? She's not black. That's what I heard. That she's Indian, her father's white. That's what I was told. She then continues, she says, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered her father was white. Kamala Harris's father is a Jamaican economist. He was a Stanford professor who split from Kamala's Indian mother when she was 5. Kamala said this in her book. She says, my mother understood very well that she was raising 2 black daughters. She also went to a historically black college. She's black.
Hey, Janet, sis, girl, listen. Yeah, all you had to do was one thing, is to keep your mouth shut. Just sing, girl. Seriously. Just recently on an interview, Janet Jackson came for Kamala Harris. She said about Kamala that she's not black. That's what I heard. Yeah, girl, don't tell us what you heard, honey. Just tell us the truth. She said that Kamala is Indian and her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told what they discovered her father was white. Now, Janet, I don't know what news you're gonna be listening to or you're watching, girl. World Weekly News, girl, I guess. But Kamala's father was Jamaican. So this has all been done, proved. So Janet, girl, sis, I know you may want attention, girl. You got dollars, girl. You got dollars from that divorce, the Arab guy. Now, y'all should just be sitting up on your balcony, sipping, some celestial seasoning tea, hanging out with your cats and stuff, girl. Y'all shouldn't be talking about the politics, girl.
Ooh.
This one's a little tough. This is Janet Jackson. And I have been a fan of Janet Jackson ever since she played Penny on Good Times. By the time Janet Jackson played Charlene on Different Strokes, I had developed a full-blown crush, and Todd Bridges didn't even know he and I had beef. I watched her as Cleo on Fame and was mesmerized by her performance as Justice in Poetic Justice. 35 years ago, the album Rhythm Nation, with its call to stand against racism, poverty, and inequalities in marginalized communities, inspired me. So when I read this headline that Janet Jackson promotes right-wing Kamala Harris conspiracy theory, falsely claiming Harris is not black, I had to go find the interview and see for myself if that's what was said, because you know how some things can be taken out of context. So I found the original interview in The Guardian and read it for myself. And I found the exchange and read it for myself. But even before I got to this, there were red flags. The interviewer stated the following: America could be on the verge of voting in its first black female president, Kamala Harris. Janet responded with, well, you know what they supposedly say. She's not black. That's what I heard. She's Indian. And after making that comment to the interviewer says the following: she looked at me expectantly, perhaps assuming that I have Indian heritage. The interviewer said, well, she's both. Janet responds with, her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days, she coughs. I was told that they discovered her father was white. This is not an old interview. This interview was filed on September the 21st, 2024. There are more overtones in that article that speak of right-wing conspiracy theories and QAnon. And I now believe that Rhythm Nation was just a performative album, because nobody who is seriously committed to the themes that she allegedly wrote about in Rhythm Nation would ever make that statement or some of the others in that article. And while I may believe this album was written from a performative activist, it still inspired me with its themes, because its themes were true. I can't go back into my past and change anything I felt about Janet, anything I may have liked about Janet. I can't remove her music from the soundtrack of my life when I was younger, and I'm not going to. But Janet will be removed going forward from my bingo card, because unlike some performative activists or so-called revolutionaries, I am not just new to this, I am true to this. I do not care who you are, how I felt about you growing up. If you engage in spreading far right-wing conspiracy theories or doing the work of white supremacists for them, you and I stand in diametrical opposite corners of this thing we call revolution. And regardless of how I may have felt about you in the past, I promise you, I will not feel that way about you going forward. Y'all have the day that you deserve, and may the ancestors judge you accordingly.
Now, Janet Jackson did respond to backlash after her controversial comments nearly 24 hours since her headline-making interview with The Guardian hit the internet. The pop star did release a statement addressing those shocking comments about Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, as The Root reported, Jackson promoted a widely debunked conspiracy theory regarding Harris. The star said, "Heard that Harris is not black." Naturally, the internet did its thing and had some serious thoughts for the Together Again singer, especially as she has long been vocal about social justice throughout her career. Now, in a statement obtained by BuzzFeed, Jackson's manager spoke on the controversial comments. It reads that Jackson deeply respects Vice President Kamala Harris. She emphasized she especially respects her accomplishments as a Black and Indian woman. Janet apologizes for any confusion caused and acknowledges the importance of accurate representation in public discourse. The statement said, "We appreciate the opportunity to address this and will remain committed to promoting unity." Now, as we reported, the statements made by Jackson in the interview were certainly shocking, with the singer continuing to repeat a false theory surrounding Harris's father. "She's not Black," she said in the interview. "That's what I heard, that she's Indian." She then added, much to the journalist's surprise, "Her father is palm color. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days." Now, she also continued to say that she thinks the outcome of the upcoming presidential election will be mayhem, no matter who wins. She explained, "Honestly, I don't want to answer that question. I really, truthfully don't know. I think either way it goes is going to be mayhem." Now, the internet spent most of Saturday and Sunday expressing their disappointment in Jackson, with the singer trending on X, formerly known as Twitter, for most of that time. Now, Jackson's comments on Harris's race echo those of former President Donald Trump. During a July appearance at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention, the Republican president nominee said he didn't know Harris was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black. Is she Indian or is she Black? Because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she went and became a Black person, Trump said at that time. Now, shortly after the publication of Jackson's comments, an apology was issued on the singer's behalf to BuzzFeed by the Egyptian filmmaker who has allegedly worked as a creative consultant for Jackson. Now, according to news articles, this man who claimed to be Jackson's manager reportedly told the outlet that the pop icon's remarks on Harris's racial identity were based on misinformation. But Jackson's current manager is her brother, Randy Jackson. Representatives for Jackson confirmed to USA on Sunday that this filmmaker was not authorized to make the statement to BuzzFeed. The singer's reps added, nor has he ever worked on Jackson's team. Now, different people commented on Janet Jackson's post, with one saying that this whole Janet Jackson thing just goes to show you how out of touch some celebrities are. I've always loved her, but repeating lies, somehow, if you don't know about a subject, then don't speak on it, especially with your platform. Educate yourself, please. Now, from the articles, many people believe that Janet had issued an apology for her remarks, suggesting that Harris isn't truly Black. However, reports have surfaced indicating that no official apology has actually been made. The supposed apology was allegedly written by a manager who isn't even part of Janet's team, raising serious questions about accountability and the spread of misinformation. Now, as public figures, I feel it's important for artists like Janet to clarify their statements and acknowledge the impact of their words. This situation highlights the complexities of identity and representation. Now, some commenters said, I agree wholeheartedly, with some saying, look at who Randy Jackson follows on IG. She might be getting her info from him. I heard willful ignorance, ignoring readily available facts. Janet Jackson's ex-husband is from Qatar, the same folks starting shit with America. Jamaica doesn't mean Black. Kamala is not Black, she's Indian. Well, coming from her, if you don't do your research, you shouldn't speak on things you heard. I really thought she was better than this. She isn't Black American, so she isn't lying. I expected fully. Who knows how much actual schooling and education she's had, even though she's had time to learn a thing. I see the Jacksons as worldly but not educated at all. I see a hit TikTok post coming your way. Why is she talking exactly like Trump? Now, these are some of the comments that people had on Janet Jackson's video. But what do you, my viewers, think about all of this? Now, we've all seen and heard how Janet Jackson's initial comments have sparked outrage, and many felt she owed an apology. But now, with news that the apology was allegedly fabricated, the situation has taken another complicated turn. So do you think Janet Jackson owes a genuine apology for spreading misinformation? Or do you believe she's being unfairly targeted? Because we have other people supporting her to say that Kamala Harris is not Black and that Janet Jackson is not lying. And was the alleged apology a damage control tactic gone wrong, or a sincere attempt to rectify the situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let's continue the conversation. What implications does this have for public figures and their responsibility to accurate information? Thank you for watching and see you in my next video as I bring you another interesting video.